Hello everyone, this is CRH Films. Today, I will tell you about the 2009 film The Human Centipede. A deranged doctor has turned 3 people into one, as he is very lonely in retirement. Dr. Hyder stops at a highway rest area, awaiting his next victim for his horrifying experiments. Sitting in his car, he looks at a photo of his first experiment, where he merged 3 dogs into one, but the subjects' bodies weren't prepared for such trials. The long-haul trucker who parked behind them goes into the bushes to take care of personal matters. Meanwhile, the doctor takes a tranquilizer gun and follows the driver. 2 American tourists, Lindsay and Jenny, are traveling across Europe, starting their journey in Germany. Lindsay talks on the phone with her friend Emma, telling her about their new acquaintance. Jenny is very interested in the young man, and tonight they are going to party at a club called The Bunker. The girls set off to the party by car, but unfamiliar roads lead them astray, and to make matters worse, they get a flat tire. Lindsay tries to call for a tow truck, but there is no cell phone reception. The girls find themselves alone in the middle of the forest. However, a passing car gives them hope for rescue. A solitary German man tries to communicate with the girls, but they don't understand a word he's saying. Eventually, they realize that the creepy man is offering help in exchange for something unpleasant. The girls refuse, and the disappointed German drives away. The friends are left wondering what to do next, wait for another stranger or seek help on their own. They choose to venture into the forest, but the dark night makes their chances of finding anyone slim. Lindsay notices a faint light piercing through the woods, and she and her friend run towards it. It starts pouring rain. In the garden, we see a strange tombstone, my beloved triple dog. The owner of the house turns out to be none other than Dr. Hyder. Soaked and exhausted, the girls ask him to call a tow truck. He agrees to help and lets them inside his home. The doctor's eerie demeanor raises some concerns for the girls, but they have no other option. Dr. Hyder escorts the girls to the living room and asks them a series of questions. He then goes to call the tow truck, but it becomes evident that he is only pretending to make the call. He takes 2 glasses of water and drops sleeping pills into them. The doctor informs the girls that the tow truck will arrive in 30 minutes. To pass the time, the girls attempt to strike up a conversation. Dr. Gaither says he's single because he doesn't like people, which makes the girls even more uneasy. Lindsay accidentally spills water, angering Dr. Hyder. He goes to fetch more water with tranquilizers, but the girls insist on sharing 1 glass. Nevertheless, the doctor leaves as if to get a towel. In reality, he goes down to the basement to check on his recent victim, the truck driver. Hyder prepares a syringe with a dose of tranquilizer intended for Lindsay. The girls decide to run away from this horrifying place, but the tranquilizer begins to take effect, and Jenny can't escape. The doctor returns with a smile on his face, revealing that he added tranquilizers to the water. Jenny loses consciousness, and Lindsay, with her last ounce of strength, tries to flee. The doctor catches the weakened girl and administers an injection. During breakfast, Dr. Hyder destroys the girl's documents. Meanwhile, the friends wake up, tied to beds in a room resembling a hospital ward. Dr. Hyder informs the truck driver that he is not suitable for the experiment and gives him a lethal injection before setting off to find a new victim. The deranged doctor brings in a new victim, a Japanese man named Katsuro. He decides to tell his captive audience about his mysterious background and what awaits them in the coming days. Amid pleas for mercy, the doctor begins his tale. Throughout his life, he worked as a surgeon, specializing in separating Siamese twins. However, retirement left him bored, and he decided to conduct experiments to connect living organisms into one entity. He practiced on dogs before deciding to create a human centipede. The doctor explains in detail how the operation will proceed, merging their digestive systems and deforming their knee joints for better mobility. As Dr. Hyder administers anesthesia to Katsuro and Jenny, Lindsay manages to free herself and attempts to escape. But in her haste, she forgets about the needle embedded in her skin and accidentally punctures her vein. Driven to madness by these actions, the doctor hastily grabs a medical kit and rushes off in search of the fugitive. Terrified and bloodied, Lindsay hides in one of the rooms, but the deranged doctor quickly finds her. He promises Lindsay horrifying consequences if she doesn't open the door right away. Realizing that the girl won't open up, the doctor leaves immediately. Lindsay decides to escape through a window, taking a table lamp with her as a weapon. However, she discovers that Dr. Hyder is waiting for her outside with a gun. In panic, Lindsay screams and rushes towards the door, but due to her bloody hands, she struggles to open it, not succeeding on the first attempt. After several attempts, the doctor manages to break the glass. In her desperation, Lindsay tries to flee the house, but almost all the doors are locked. She falls into a swimming pool, where the doctor catches up to her. Hyder points the tranquilizer gun at her, but Lindsay has no intention of surrendering and dives underwater. Moments later, Lindsay resurfaces and begs the doctor to kill her. Hyder decided to share a cautionary tale with Lindsay. During his first experiment, one of the dogs also decided to escape. To prevent this, the doctor placed her in the middle of the centipede, where the pain from the wounds was much worse. He plans to do the same with Lindsay. In despair, she agrees to do anything to avoid the operation. However, Hyder activates the pool's closing system, thinking it will force Lindsay to surrender. Lindsay, unwilling to go through such torment, decides to drown herself. But just moments before the pool completely seals, the electrical system overloads, plunging the entire house into darkness. While Hyder is dealing with this issue, Lindsay climbs out of the pool and is ready to make her escape. However, the thought of her friend stops her. She returns to the basement, frees her friend, and slowly but surely makes her way to freedom. Lindsay manages to drag her friend out onto the street, and it seems that they are only a few meters away from escaping all these horrifying events. However, a sudden dart with a tranquilizer in Lindsay's back shatters all her efforts. The doctor carries the captives back to the basement and begins the operation. Katsuro will be at the front of the centipede, followed by Jenny and Lindsay, who will occupy the middle position. The operation is successful, and the trio survives the experiments. Hyder photographs his creation and begins training the human centipede. The doctor feeds them dog food and makes them fetch newspapers. However, due to the human bodies not being adapted for such experiments, an infection enters Lindsay's body, making her ill. But this doesn't bother the deranged doctor. He has no plans to treat her and simply decides to replace her with someone else. One day, the police visit Hyder's house to ask a few questions about the missing people. When they ring the intercom, Hyder and the human centipede are in the basement. When the man picks up the phone, Katsuro screams as loudly as he can, but the doctor quickly covers the microphone with his hand. Coming upstairs with an unflinching expression, he opens the door and invites the guests inside. Detectives Krantz and Vollers question the man about the missing girls whose car was found nearby. The doctor claims to be busy with research and rarely leaves his home. Following a rehearsed routine, he offers the detectives a glass of water. They agree, and Hyder heads to the kitchen to prepare a deadly cocktail. Meanwhile, Katsuro continues to scream, but all his efforts are in vain. The detectives continue their questioning. They mention that someone heard screams from his house, and they accuse Dr. Hyder of the truck driver's disappearance, as his car was seen near the crime scene. The doctor loses his composure in front of the detectives, shouting at them to leave his house and forcing them to drink the water. However, Detective Krantz doesn't react to the doctor's instability and smashes the glass. The detectives realize that there's more to this doctor than meets the eye. Having calmed down, Hyder apologizes and, as before, goes to fetch the tranquilizer. He tells the human centipede that he has found new replacements and intends to replace Lindsay's position. Going back upstairs, the doctor starts cleaning up the broken glass. Meanwhile, Detective Krantz requests permission to search the basement. However, the doctor refuses, citing the absence of a search warrant. Hyder accidentally drops a towel containing a syringe. He claims it's insulin, as he has diabetes. The detectives become even more suspicious and promise to return in 30 minutes with a search warrant. The doctor rushes to the basement to hide all evidence of his crimes. But the human centipede is nowhere to be found. Panic-stricken, Hyder goes in search of them. Seizing the right moment, Katsuro sticks a scalpel into the doctor's leg and bites his neck in an attempt to damage an artery but doesn't finish the job. The training pays off, and the human centipede manages to climb the stairs and heads towards Hyder's room. The trio hopes to escape through a shattered window, but upon arrival, they notice a new, undamaged one. In the meantime, the doctor regains consciousness and begins his pursuit. In desperation, Katsuro tries to break the window, while Hyder catches up with his creation. However, Katsuro, like a true samurai, chooses to exit this world. Detectives with a search warrant are already at the door, but no one answers. The doctor, weakened by his injuries, crawls back to the pool, armed with a scalpel, preparing to confront the law enforcement officers. The detectives break into the house and start searching for the deranged surgeon. Detective Krantz finds the human centipede but nearly loses consciousness due to the shock of seeing such a sight. Agent Voller's heads in the right direction, but the glass of water with the tranquilizer he drank takes its toll. This allows the doctor to easily overpower the officer, take his weapon, and throw his body into the pool. Moments later, Krantz arrives and receives 2 doses of lead before exiting this unjust world, managing to take the doctor with him. The human centipede is left alone. Jenny soon dies, leaving her friend alone between 2 deceased companions.